Oh, you better go. Oh, I'm alive. Oh, my Lord. What a fiasco. Hi, Ellen. Whew. I've been running around like a crazy woman. Well, I'm always a crazy woman, but today I added running around to it. I got to get my breath. Woo, woo. Oh, give me a moment here. Let me gather my wits. It's been crazy. I'm glad you're here, though. I appreciate you being here as always. Okay. All right. Woo. Hi, Teresa. Beautiful day there. That's great. Hi, Becky. How you doing? I'm sorry. After I made my message to you, I didn't realize I sounded so abrupt, but I wanted to make sure that we understood one another on the Daphne's Diary. I apologize for being um, Rebecca, abrupt. I didn't mean to be. Hi, Lydia. Oh, let me catch. Hi, Yolan. Gotcha. Okay, good. Okay. It's all ready to go. And they're out on the porch waiting for the postman who will pick them up tomorrow. So you should have them in 3 days. So yeah, you'll enjoy. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I know you'll enjoy them. I know you will. You'll love them. There's one that I cut apart, and then I made another journal out of it, so I didn't include that one. But you got all the rest of them, and I'm so glad that they found a good home. I appreciate that always. Yes. So that's the only thing I have. Vale got her ledger book a couple of weeks ago, which was a relief. All right, let me get my iPad. Let me sit down. It's just been, crazy today. There's no reason for it. Uh, the first time I tried to go live, I didn't see the live button because the screen wasn't expanded, and I had to scoot over to the right to pick the camera and the mic, and then I kept on hitting the right arrow, and finally there was the go live. So the first time I couldn't find go live, so I started all over again, and then I knew I was late. So there's less and less information. Um, Obviously, when you're running late, I decided to go grocery shopping, and I normally have it delivered. And I thought, well, today I will pick it up. And it was a little late in the day. I didn't give the time any consideration. And the next thing I know, the order is delayed, and I bought that flatbed scanner, and after much deliberation and chat about where I was going to put it, I realized, hi, Belinda, good to see you. I realized that really wasn't going to do what I wanted to do. Yes, it would scan, the big stuff like this 12 by 17 or 19 or whatever, that 13 by. But then when I went to print it out, I could only print it out as big as my printer. So I went back online and I typed in A3 scanner and printer. I'm good. How are you? I'm catching my breath. And lo and behold, an Epson EcoTank printer scanner size A3 came up. So I ordered that, a little bit more money, and I packaged up and did all the paperwork to return the flatbed scanner. So I went to return the flatbed scanner, and I had to go to Kohl's. And I hate going to Kohl's, and they make you you have to walk through the whole damn store to find where the return thing is. And this is in a pretty big box. It's not in the box it came in, but it's in a regular. It's like in a computer box with a little handle, but it's pretty awkward. So I go to, and I actually Googled Kohl's to say, where is the return? They said, oh, it's in the front of the store. They lied. It's not in the front of the store. So there was a cart that was left near where I parked, but it was like a little tiny cart, and the flatbed scanner didn't really fit in it, but I got it in it, and I'm bent over and I'm trying to get it to the store. And this lovely young gentleman, man, not a man with his wife, said, can I help you? And I said, oh my gosh, yes, you can help me. Thank you so much. So not only did I get in the store with him, but he carried it all the way to the Amazon return desk, which was not in the front of the store, which was halfway to the back of the store in an alcove. And there was no sign. So he got me there. Thank you so much. And then there was a nice other gentleman that lifted it up onto the counter. So scanned it, it's returned. The money is immediately credited to your account. And the scanner printer is supposed to arrive tomorrow. So to be continued. I'm excited about that. And we'll see how that works out. And what else I was going to tell you? Oh, it took forever. I went to Kohl's first, get to Publix, and I'm in the parking lot waiting. And I hadn't any notification that the order was ready, but it was already late. It was supposed to be ready by 3:43, and now it's 4:00. They're running behind. And so they eventually come out. And I thought I had ordered, I could have sworn I ordered the little ice cream cups, which I love because they're just the right amount and not too much. And but they weren't in the order. Hi, Brenda. So I have to go back and see whether, I'm sure I screwed up. And then I got home and I was running around trying to put the groceries away before I had to stream, and I didn't have time to put the garbage out. So I'll have to do that after the stream, which is fine. And the lizard that I discovered the other morning I haven't seen him or it or she or whatever, but I see little lizard poops. Yes. Hi, Sandy. So I'm seeing little lizard poops. So there's plenty of little insects for it to eat, so it could live here forever. Maybe it'll hook up with the frog, Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Who knows, right? But anyway, so now here we are. Once again, another Sunday. It's going to be light for another hour, an hour later. So what happens? We lose an hour's sleep? Is that how that works? Yeah, lizard poops. They're little tiny, well, obviously they're tiny, but you know that it's a lizard poop because it's a little tiny black thing with a white dot on top. No. And that's funny you should mention that, because there was something on the floor that I thought, oh my God, it's a lizard skin, but it was a piece of Scotch tape. I don't think they grow. I never gave that any thought, but there's little ones and there's big ones, so they grow. So maybe they do shred their skin. I don't know. All I know is that, if Lily were alive, she would have hunted that thing down and sat wherever she thought it was until she either caught it or it died. But if she caught it, she would eat it and then throw it up. So I don't really, I don't have to worry about that. So no Lily, and the lizard is going to live happily ever after, eating little spiders and such, I guess. I don't know. And I'll keep my eye out. I can't open the door and say, come on, lizard, go, go, go. I had the garage door open for a while while I was bringing in the groceries, but I'm sure he wasn't smart enough to scoot out, say, oh, here's my chance to make a breakaway. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, that's a given. Um, I finished I finished this tiny little journal that I started a while ago, and I was inspired by Patricia from P&M Studio, a pet lizard. Yes, well, okay, that's it. Oh, all right. We lose an hour's sleep, gain an extra hour of evening light, but it's darker in the morning by an hour too. Yeah, one of these days they'll finally vote to get rid of it. I don't know. Some states don't have it. But I was inspired by Patricia from P&M Studios. She has a little journal that she's been working in, just putting little bits and pieces, bits and bobs of stuff. You've seen the beginning of it. This was from Yolan. This is hers. This is some jelly plate stuff. And this is a postcard from Becky. And I put it so there's like a pocket in here. And this is something that Safia made. And there's just little tiny scraps. And when I make a journal, I like to use those cards, those those hard cards. Hi, Tanya. Oh, you worked on a little book with Tanya. I just saw Tanya's name pop up. I like the ad cards that come that are a little thick, and I like to fold to do that. And little scribbles here. I have a lizard stamp, and this is a piece from P&M Studios, part of one of our political protest postcards. It's part of the lyrics to "This Land Is Your Land." There's a lizard, a little tag, and just really, I highly recommend this, especially if you end up with bits and scraps on your desk. I could. And little, art, and put it in a journal. And here's that little guy again, Devin. That's and this, oh look, this is Safia. This is part of Safia's stuff here. And that's a stamp I carved. That's from Safia. That came, that's a doodle of mine. Let's see. This seems like it should open. It's really thick, but it doesn't. And I was watercolor on dictionary paper. I got a little carried away with the lizard. And that seems really thick, but I guess not. It's just got thick. Nope. Didn't it? All right. Anyway, that's a fishy stamp I made. Again, I doodled on that. Here's one that opens. Whoops. Little tag. Meet our newest friend. Those are some of those little watercolor things I did on the dictionary pages. That was a lot of fun. Some more flippy floppies. These are national park stamps I had. That's a stamp that I carved on the border of a stamp. That's me as a pirate for Halloween. So just little stuff, little inconsequential stuff. Oh, I thought I had made a tab for that. That's an owl that I carved. That's a little one of those watercolors, you put the tape down on the paper. And that's a clothing tag. Let's see. Another tag. That was that, whatchamacallit, scratch on, rub on. That's a stamp I made with foamies. It's another stamp. So yeah, and I finished it. Very rarely do I finish these. This was some Happy Mail. Came in a birthday card. Oh, there. I knew I made a, maybe not. There is a, oops. Honest, there is a, there. So this was an index card. So I made a little tag out of that. Stick that back in there. I thought I had popped the corners. This is a great stamp I have. Again, little bits and pieces. This is interesting. This is the house that I grew up in. Happy birthday, Becky. Belated birthday. And that's the house in Wantor. They moved into that house when I was 3 years old. And if you look really carefully, I mean, you can see it in the garages there. We had a Woody station wagon. Oh, it's today. Oh my gosh. Oh, so it's today. Oh, so you got your birthday card in time. Wow, I thought it was going to be late. I got so confused. And that was my older brother's bicycle. And that eventually became my bedroom. Some more flippy floppy stuff. Oh, and these are some of my zoo carvings. We did the zoo December. That's my koala, elephant, hippopotamus, rhino, and giraffe. This is a chicken, obviously a napkin. It's a little twirly whirly. Yeah, and that's it. So what will I do with it? Nothing. I'll just occasionally look at it. I did, I was looking back at that, and I'm really happy with it too. So I might carve a stamp today or two. I carved one earlier. This intrigued me. I thought this was really a very simple design. I've been working on Freedom Crochet. Oh, cool. I'm assuming Becky started a shawl on Friday, right? That Mary Lou was doing. And a couple of hours in, it was like, I would say, halfway done? Yeah, I don't even know where I got that sticker. But here's the stamp. And of course, doing letters is really hard. But I'll show you what it looks like. Let's see. The various stages of stamping it out. And so you can see here, it was pretty messy, and I cleaned it up a little bit. And I guess that's the final stamp right there. Right there. Those are my dates flying to Buffalo. Finally figured that out. I guess I'm going to fly JetBlue. I won't be able to use my $200 credit on Delta next time. And then, while I was looking through stuff, I came across this magazine that I have. And let me show it to you. I've got a couple of them. Different but the same, if that makes any sense. It's Folk Art and Beyond. And they actually tell you how to pronounce this word. It's the Scandinavian folk art. And it's pronounced, I bet you all know. Oh, come on. I thought I read it in the beginning. It's Hygge. No, that's right. No. This was the sticker. You're right, Devin. No, this was the sticker. And then I carved a stamp based on the sticker. Yeah, no, that was a sticker. You were right. And here's the stamp from the sticker. A lot of times I'll see something and think, oh, maybe I can make that into a stamp. I could have sworn this book said how to pronounce that word. Who? Huga. Did you know that? Huga. There it is. I would, initially when I first saw it, I would say hi, G, but it's Huga. That's how you pronounce that word. And I'm sure all of you are familiar with this. And it's filled with really great, that's it. Huga. And because I've got all the tools, and they've got a lot of neat projects in here. Many shapes, and I did this. This is practice here. And I did this a while ago, practice here. And then they've got a really neat little things. You can make a photocopy of this and then cut these out and make they decorate them. And they make little tags little gift tags. And then floral forms. And then symmetry. It's got a lot of neat stuff in here. And as I was going through it, they've got a lot of steps. Drawing houses and making little gift tags, which I thought were adorable. Or ornaments. And let's see. Natural colors. And then I came across this guy. Can you see? Let me see. Let me bring you in. Let me see if this will work. Keep my fingers crossed. Come on. All right. I'm zoomed in now. Okay, why isn't it showing zoomed in? Okay, I'm zoomed in now. Let me put some light on here. Again, I was running around, not very organized. And I came across this little guy who I thought was really cute. And then they showed him as a stamp. So I carved him as a stamp. Mine is not as obviously neat and clean as that, but let's stamp it out in this color. I have a color that's very close to that. I do, honest, I do. What I had sepia. It's sepia, right? Sepia? Yes, sepia. Got coffee. Sepia. Yeah, that should be the. Let me get a piece of paper. Got some paper over here. I'm going to use this. What the heck? And I have a foam thingy to stamp on. You always get a better impression if you have something foamy. But even though this carving board, well, it's not foamy. Far from it. Okay, so let's stamp this guy out. And you can see my circles. Their circles are very neat and clean. My circles are not so neat and clean. But and I'll show you. You can still see where you have to go back and clean all the little stuff off. I'm a pretty basic hacker when it comes to carving stamps. But let's see what we get here. But they're my circles. Yes, this is true, Barbara. They are my circles and nobody else's. They're all mine. Yes, they are. I did 4 big collages. I'd love to show them to you, but they're rather big and I don't think I can fit them in. But I got that paper. I was telling everybody how much. Hi, Jackie. The paper that I like so much. That paper, I actually bought watercolor paper and it's like 90 pounds. It's not really watercolor paper, but they sold it as watercolor paper. And I think this paper. All right, you ready? Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. So there he is. I can clean up around there. Yeah, I'd do that again. I'd try that again. It's hard to cover those little circles. At least it is for me. I think there were circles in there. If there were circles in there, that's not happening. But there it is. It's a new, I'll have to, yeah. He's very Hugo Rich. So typically you would go back and you would take your blade, your speed. Is it a Speedo? I think it's Speedo. Carving tool and clean all that up. I kind of like this around. I like this kind of looks like grass. I would probably clean this up though around him. And a lot of times I will carve on, I ended up gouging this. I'll end up carving on the sides of stamps too and get little designs. This is what I was using. I got it on Amazon, of course. So that's what I was using. I have a whole bunch of it. I'm going to be carving a lot of stamps, I guess. And then we can I'll stamp this out real quick. Let's pick a nice different color for it. Let's see. A little disappointed. That's a little dry. How about purple? What do you think? Majestic violet. Excuse me. Not purple. Majestic violet. At least when I copied this, I just could copy the letters and I didn't have to figure out getting them correct because, boy, carving words, if you're doing it like freehand, I have to do it numerous times before I get the letters all facing the right way because you have to do it backwards. Oh, we're good. Hi, Linda. Is that Linda? I can't see the chat. However, guess what I finally did? I think I told the ladies. I finally made, I made an appointment to see an eye doctor. I see him March something, later on in March. So I'm hoping, because the other guy, I told you, he was never really adamant. He said, yeah, you're going to need cataract surgery. Well, everybody eventually needs cataract surgery. But he never said, yeah, you got to have it done like now, or he's very vague about the whole thing. So I feel good about seeing a doctor, an ophthalmologist, not an optometrist. And his name is Frederick Ho, H-O. And he's just down the road from here. And that's probably why I picked him, because he was very close. But anyway, I'm going to see him. And I'm hoping that just a new prescription will get me through. Because what this guy described to me, he said, if you need cataract surgery, you'll know. Because when you look like at a window, like at a window pane where there's like, window, the window pane markings, they will be separated. And I don't have any of that type of separation. Oh, that's cool. All right, here we go. Ooh, I like it in purple. Now the A here is, and yeah, that was a little. Yeah, it came out. Yeah, it's rough, which is fine. It's me, right? So that's what I did today. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to revert to my comfort zone, and I have another little journal that I'd like to work in. Not as little as this one. Oh, you know what one I could work in? Oh, just wait 1 second. All right, let's go. Let's go really little. And it's right behind here. Here it is. Okay. Here it is. And wait. Okay. Where are all my little? I have a whole bunch of little stuff, little images. I'm sorry for being so discombobulated. Not that I'm not always this way. It just seems worse today because. Oh, there they are. The order was late. Okay, let's see what I've got in here. These are the little tiny itsy bitsy images that I collect. And these are those Dollar Tree little things you can buy, or at least you used to be able to buy at Dollar Tree. And they're great for little stuff. Put this back over here. Well, I'm looking forward to scanning and printing out those collages. And I'm glad that it's an eco. I always want to say eco. It's an eco printer. It's just like, the eco printers that we have, Barb, but it's a big one. It's like the big brother. Oh, of course, you're welcome, Becky. Of course. Another quick story. My neighbor, my former Monday night bridge partner, and I think a lot of you know how I felt about her. That's why I don't play bridge on Monday nights. But anyway, after Saturday bridge, she came up and asked me, was I busy? And I hate when people say, are you busy? And I'm going, And she said, I've got a gift certificate. I'd like, that we'd go out to dinner. And I said, sure. I can't do Sunday. Hi, Jenny. So she said, okay, let's go Saturday. So we went to a place called Texas Roadhouse, which I think is a chain, a franchise. And it was Saturday night. We should not go out to dinner on a Saturday night, not now. The place was mobbed, absolutely crazy. And she went inside and they said the wait was 45 to 50 minutes. And she said, is that okay with you? And I said, sure. What the hell? And of course, she didn't bring her phone. And the last time we went out to dinner, we didn't have, neither one of us had a phone. So I was damn sure I was going to bring a phone because that's what they do now. They don't use that little buzzy thing. They text you. So the guy said he'd come out and tell us because she said I don't have my phone. So we waited quite a while, and the whole area filled up with people, and we called them globs of people came in, and globs of people went out, and we waited and waited, and finally, hi, Safia, and finally got seated about almost an hour, and she is so rude and short and downright nasty. Because she went in to check on our seats, and and the guy who'd taken the reservations and like command, he was so kind and so nice and so accommodating, and he didn't answer the question the way she wanted it answered, and she snapped at him, and I'm just, oh, that's just not necessary. But anyway, hi, Chris. We had dinner, and I got a steak that was really tough, even though it was their hand cut sirloin. It was, yeah, I have some of it left over. I have a little piece of it left over. I'll cut it really, really thin. I know, well, he wasn't short with anybody. He was very kind. I mean, I thought he did his job. There was no reason for it, but she doesn't even see herself snapping at. She's, well, I don't mean to start a fight. I just want you to answer the question. I'm going, what? I mean, because a woman came in while I was standing there to give him the phone number of my cell phone. A woman came in and said, we're waiting outside, and I'm with my 90-year-old father. And is there basically she was asking to be put ahead of the line because her father was 90 years old. And I'm thinking 90 years old is nothing here. Big deal. Half the people here are 90 years old. And he was so kind. He said, I'm so sorry. I can't put you ahead of all these people. I'm very busy. And she said, well, can we get a drink at least? And he said, well, I can bring out a glass of water for you. I mean, that's how kind this guy was. And she said, oh, no, that's okay. But eventually she got bumped ahead. She got, anyway, he was kind. That's how nice this guy was. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. I'll do a veggie stir fry, and I'll cut it real, real thin. And it was perfect. I have to say, it was perfectly cooked. When I asked for medium, it was the right pink on the inside. So it was cooked very well. Safia. This is Safia's journal. I thought we could work in this a little bit. I'm not going to stay on too long. But Safia has the same journal, obviously. And hers is filled with beautiful little bits and pieces of art. And mine, is filled with little bits of images. So it's interesting how different ours are. But Safia made these journals, and it's very impressive. They have 4 signatures in them. And these little illustrations came out of New Yorker magazine. I mean, I talk about fussy cutting. I'm a fussy cutting fool. And this person is just like, so we can put a little image here, okay? But this is a lot of fun. Working in something really, really little. It's a little piece of steak, about yay big. Oh, what I did buy today. I got my corned beef. Corned beef and cabbage. And there was another thing they did with the order. I got a message saying that they were out of these green chilies, right? So I gave her the name of a replacement for the little green chilies. And I unpacked the order, and now I have 4 cans of green chilies because apparently they weren't out of the 2, and I ordered another 2. So now I have 4 cans of green chilies. I mean, which is fine. It's no biggie, but I screwed up. I don't have my ice cream. I'll be really upset if I order the ice cream. But 9 times out of 10, when I don't get something, oh, there's a little piece of art. Let's stick that there. It fits. Yeah, what the heck? Yeah, we'll do that. I will really be upset if it was on my order. Yeah. Well, I've been collecting these too. I haven't added to this, but they're fun little images. You know what? Nicole Relax Cut Glue, Nicole, in her Twinchy book, and I've done it on a couple of pages in the Twinchy book, she's gone back and put smaller images in the Twinchy boxes, which is really neat. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be successful with the 100-day project. I have fallen by the wayside. I had good intentions, and I just didn't have the patience to stick with it. I was going to do a sketch a day, but alas, I didn't. So I have that little kitty, guy under a car. I don't know. Aw. Sunglasses. Look how tiny that is. I cut out this picture of a hanging and then another thing of dining table. And I got these little floppy-eared bunnies. They reminded me of the bunny that you made, Becky. It's Laura. Hi, Laura. How wonderful to see you. That's true. That's true. She's different. I think this is a stamp. I don't know what it is, but we can stamp it out. Stamp it out. Stomp it out. Stamp it out. Here's an inchie. Remember we did those inchies? Oh, Becky, we did inchies with Becky, and Becky mounted her so beautifully. Okay. See, these are New Yorker magazine images. I love them. Ooh, that's a plate. Ooh, a psychedelic, Oh, I've got to put this down. This is a rainbow pig. Look, Laura, a rainbow. Just for you. I think I'm going to put him on a printed page, maybe, next to a lamp. Okay. We have a rainbow pig. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I guess there's some nasty weather. Someone earlier said they were Jeff. Yes. They reminded me of Jeff, the rabbit. Did you finish the dragon? I'm assuming you did. Becky was working on a dragon that was really awesome. She's got quite the stuffed animal menagerie. Jeff's the biggest, I think, right? I think he's the biggest. He's got big floppy ears. Oops, a big glob of glue. Okay. I'll keep this glob of glue on my finger. Oh, not yet? Okay. See, here's one of those little inchies. Let's see what we got in here. I mean, look at all these little... My gosh. Look at those. How small can you go? I don't even know whether... I guess I did those. Maybe. Yeah, I guess I did. Wow. Oh my gosh, I got a whole. Huh. Let's see this. Got bigger pieces over here. I think this is too big. Maybe not. No, that'll work. Yeah. Let me see. Put this glue down here. My finger. Yeah, that's going to go right to the edge, but that's fine. Oh, I drew that. I'll use this glue. I used my Doris glue stick for my big collages. I know some people use like the matte medium with the brush. All those little flowers. These. You're right. I think you're right, Becky. Yes, you recognize them. They are because I saw. They are. Look. Ta-da. Good eye, Becky. Put that down here. Oh, that's going to be fun. Oh man, look how little. Oh, I got a really itsy bitsy one. Oh wow. Oh, look at that. Woohoo! Stick this over here. How fun is that? Whoa. Just little stickers. Thanks, Beck. How fun. I love this. And these are New Yorker magazine images. They'll have these type of images on the sides of their articles. There was one about baseball, I guess, and all these little baseball images. It looks like the Green Monster. If you're not familiar, the Green Monster is a big, gigantic outfield wall at Fenway. Okay, I can stick one right here. Yes, I can. I can stick one right there. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. Perfect. Did you just start doodling on sticker paper, I think? Is that what you did? Stick that right there. Okay. Cool. Got bigger ones. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of them I got. Goodness gracious. Stick. Oh, look at this one. How pretty is that? This is, yes, that's going to go there.